Amen? Amen. And then chapter 2 ends. We didn't really go into this too much last week because we were trying to beat a clock. But chapter 2 ends with 120 becoming 3,000, and they're gathered together in one place. And the New Living Translation says that they formed a community. It doesn't say they formed a church. It says they formed a community. By the world's definition, the church is going to close today about 12:15. The church closes today about 12:15. If you are in pain, or you are hurting, or you are broken, or you are hungry, or you are sick, and you show up here tomorrow looking for the church's help, the church will not be here. There will be a school here. If Tuesday morning at 2 o'clock in the morning you wake up in a panic attack and you're nervous and you're scared and you're fearful, or you and your wife or you and your loved ones are in a fight, or someone you know has passed away and you were just broken, and you pick up the phone and you call the church's phone number, most likely, I could be wrong, but most likely nobody's going to answer the telephone. But I'm looking around this room, and I see some people's houses that you could go to tomorrow, and they would answer the door. They would feed you. They would take you in. I see some people, and I know your phone numbers, that if 2 o'clock in the morning someone calls you, you might not be coherent, might not be the most Christ-like at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I know you would answer the phone. See, there's a difference in church and community. Amen? And it says in verse 42, and I looked at about 4 translations late last night. I'm sitting out on the patio and I'm looking at about 4 translations. And the 4 translations I looked through, around verse 42, it says, and they devoted themselves to one another, to the teachings, to sharing of meals, to helping one another, to praying for one another. One another? Sound like I'm talking like my daughter. Yeah, talking like my daughter. Yeah, talking like my daughter. That one's a 5-year-old little girl talk right there, yes. But they devoted themselves to one another. The word devoted in Hebrew is mukdash. M-U-K-D-A-S-H. I'm pronouncing it wrong, just so y'all know. It's mukdash, that word devoted. And in the Hebrew, that word devoted, mukdash, translates into holy or set apart. Holy or set apart. So when you become holy, let me say this. Leviticus 27. I didn't give Tyler any notes, so he's back there just frantically typing. I'm trying to give him a little bit of time. Leviticus 27. I don't know the verse. Good luck. Leviticus 27, Moses writes this. Things that are devoted, it's the same Hebrew word, mukdash. Things that are devoted to the Lord are most holy and may not be sold or redeemed as might be done with ordinary things. Let me read it one more time. Things that are devoted to the Lord are most holy and may not be sold, or redeemed as might be done with ordinary things. When you become devoted to a person or a place or a belief, that thing has been set apart, it has been made holy, and it is not ordinary. So when my wife and I became devoted to one another, when we took a covenant with God, our relationship was not ordinary anymore. And 15 years later, we are still not ordinary. When you become devoted to, hush, I just called on what she said, hush. When you become devoted to a church home or to a church family or to a community or a group of people that you love, that devotion has been set apart. It's not ordinary. It should never be treated as ordinary. When you become devoted to a group of friends, to a brotherhood or a sisterhood, you become devoted to that person, and that relationship has been set apart. It has been made holy, and it's not ordinary anymore. When you become devoted, man, let me tell you something. The importance that we see in Acts 1 and 2, and we're going to see it through more, is that the devotion the believers had was cemented or concreted together with their faith in Jesus Christ, and they were not ordinary. The entire outside world, the Roman Empire, were looking at these people like they were not ordinary. Amen? And they came together in one place, and that devotion creates something like a community.